Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 497th episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your temporary host, the fluffiest Whimsicott. Thatch is having internet trouble. I'm so sorry about that. While he's not here, I am able to be joined by my super duper awesome, that's not an SAT word, but I don't care, friends. The first one of them is my brother Lynian.
Hello. Thatch has co-hosts. Whimsicott has friends.
And brothers. My other brother is PMcGee.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning indeed. We are here to bring you a show that is all about Pokemon. We are the PUCL Podcast, PUCL, the Pokemon Underground Champions League, because Thatch was 16 when he came up with this name. We talk about the video game, we talk about the anime, we talk about pretty much everything in between. Some things we don't talk much about, because really, what is there to say about something like Pokemon Trousey? Nothing much.
The only thing to say is, man, that was a weird art style.
Yeah, something like, that exists. And look, we've talked about Pokemon Trousey now. We're settled.
We're done. That's all it needs.
We're done. Welcome back to the show if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're a new one. We hope you have fun. As usual, we like to chill out in our intro and ask each other what we've been up to lately. I'm going to start by asking Lynian. Lynian, what have you been up to lately?
Well, if you've been following the random, midday Twitch streams that Shamu and I have been doing recently, we just about hit the Elite Four on Pokemon Insurgents, which has been an interesting game. It's a lot better than I expected, honestly. Yeah, because I'd played it before and it was always kind of fun, but particularly some of the narrative elements get pretty hilarious later in. It's played for comedy as well as it is played for just sheer terror, and some of it works, some of it doesn't, but it's never bad, it's just entertaining.
Okay, then it's an interesting combination right there.
Yeah, there are definitely some moments where you kind of sit there and you're like, wow, they tried to make this serious, but it's not. It's very funny. And there are other times where the big bad gets tricked into believing a prophecy is real just so that you can go in and set things on fire. And it's hilarious. He's like, wait, you actually believe that whole prophecy crap? That's so funny.
So it's like accidental humor, is what you're saying.
Some of it is accidental. That scene was entirely intentional. Multiple people are just going, wait, you bought that? What is wrong with you? Okay.
Okay, that is kind of funny. What about you, McGee?
So I, outside of my usual draft league stuff that I like to do these days, I've been doing a lot of Battle Stadium singles to get back in the mode for Summer League. So I've been playing around with my team on ladder. It's not very good. I don't expect to do very well as a gym leader this summer, but there should be some fun to be had. And then in the non-Pokemon world, I've gotten really, really into Junimo Kart on Stardew Valley. I've been playing that a ton. It's not a very fun game. It's one of the most infuriating side scrollers you can ever run across because it's a randomly generated level every time. But I've been doing a lot of that. So I probably put 20 hours in the last month playing Junimo Kart.
Wow.
But I beat the progress mode, which is, I don't think it means anything, but I was happy I did it.
That's fair. Well, myself, all three of us are gym leaders in the Summer League. We're going to talk about that some more in the news. So I have been getting my teams together and practicing with them on ladder as you have been. It's been a bit of a disaster so far, but I think with some pointed help from some of my fellow gym leaders, I think once the league actually starts, which is today, if you're listening on the day this comes out, we're gonna have some real fun. Like some choice things are gonna happen. And that sounds like not all of my Pokemon are holding choice items. I wasn't trying to give hints. It was just an accidental pun.
Look, if anyone was going to run 3 Pokemon with choice items, it would be me.
I mean, what? You can't even do that in BSS. Like, there's 2 choice items, and there's an item lock. There's 3.
Scarf.
Oh, you're right.
Specs.
There's 3.
Man.
Fine. I don't think I ever did that. But yeah, that sounds exactly like you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I think the Summer League is gonna be fun, but I have to tell you, as the Fairy type gym leader, I have been feeling for the 2nd year in a row the lack of certain Pokemon, and especially since it's BSS, you can't use mythicals, and man, Victini was a really big help 2 years ago. The distribution of Fairy type moves is abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many Fire type Pokemon get Fairy type moves?
2?
Fire type Pokemon that get fairy moves. It can't be that large of a pool, to be honest.
It's literally, I think you can count them on one hand. I don't even think you need all of the fingers. Same with like ground and poison and steel. It's terrible. Like all the typings that you would think, oh, these are gonna help me, they don't get Fairy type coverage. And then you find something that does, and you realize it's either a mythical or not in Sword and Shield. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough.
It's like, but you're the Fairy type gym leader. Fairy is possibly the best type in the game. Not for this. Not for this.
I wonder what that's like, having a type where not every Pokemon imaginable just happens to have one of those moves.
Yeah, Flyboy, I wonder what that's like.
I did legitimately go, how hard would it be to adapt this? Oh, look, I can just switch one move and I'm done. Airstream's broken and everyone was running it anyway. That's fun.
Yep. Meanwhile, I'm like, so do I essentially run a 3-move Pokemon because I need to put Charm on it in order to make it legal for the Summer League?
Not again. Not again.
Not again, no. I mean, it worked surprisingly well, but I think Tony Taka might still be having nightmares about that Chansey. Never again. But anyway, I promised we would talk about the Summer League later. We should still do that. So I think we should close out this intro and move on to our news segment.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
In the news, there's actually very little news because, again, this is going up the day before E3. So we have almost nothing for you. But what we do have is this. The Nintendo Direct at E3 is going to be tomorrow, if you're listening to this as it comes out. It's going to be on Tuesday, June the 15th. It's going to be roughly 40 minutes long, and they've already stated that it will only be about Nintendo Switch software, so no Switch Pro reveal for you guys, and mostly about software that will be releasing in 2021, which means we will almost certainly get something about BDSP. There's a chance we will get something about Legends Arceus.
The chance, I think, is better because of some stuff we'll get into more in the topic, but
yeah,
don't get too excited.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. But Lynian, what's going on in the TCG?
In the TCG, they have announced A new style of card, V-Union cards. So you don't get one, you don't just like open one of these, that would be silly. You open a quarter of one of them, as they are like 4-part cards, and once you get all of them into your discard, you can summon them from your discard and use them. It's basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Special summoning.
This sounds insane.
It's insane. I do not like... Okay, so you get the art, and the art is split over the 4 cards you have to put all around, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, any given card that you open, only one of them looks cool. No one goes like opening their card packets like, oh, Zacian's shoulder, or oh, Mewtwo's butt. Like,
Mewtwo's butt.
Look, that's a card now. A card is just
Unless
Mewtwo's
you're
hips.
into that.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that is horrible. Also, like, imagine they do alternate art for these cards, and you have them, but you have them mismatched. Ugh.
Oh.
Yuck.
Well, yeah, they look fine all together, but, you can see where the card seams are, because they're just, all 4 of them put together. And I'm taking any one out, and if it's not the head, it just looks silly.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
According to Seth, they're okay. He was talking about, I was like, one will probably see play, one's pretty good, one's just terrible. The biggest thing is that they don't, having to get 4 pieces together sounds really awful, but the fact that you're pitching cards constantly makes them okay. Tune in for TCG Cast, because I don't know enough about it, and I was the one who got this news because I know the most about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I know
cards look
about
cool,
VGC
though.
cards.
Like, the completed image looks kind of neat, but individually they're not exciting.
I've seen a glimpse of the Mewtwo one. It was like cool pose, but again, and one of the cards is Mewtwo's butt. Lynian is right. Such is the way of the TCG world. But McGee, what about the anime world? What's going on there?
Just to reiterate how much news we have this week, we are back to talking about the anime again. Because exciting development, James has caught a Morpeko, which continues to show Team Rocket's fascination with catching Pokemon that look like Pikachu but aren't. Because last season, they believe they had a Mimikyu for the whole run. So
I mean, if you can't get the OG one, you make do.
Yeah, this works. It's fun seeing Morpeko around, so I'm excited to see more of Morpeko hanging around in the anime for the foreseeable future. But yeah, that's the summation of our general news. A good little piece of information to round off with.
But wait, there's video game battling news.
The Fair and Square event has been announced for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, available at all major retailers for $60. Am I stalling well enough?
Yes.
Removes the item and Pokemon restrictions so that you can use multiple of them, but it then goes and bans all of the legendary Pokemon because it's fair and square.
The very first comment I saw about this is, yeah, it's totally fair because you can't use Landorus and you can't use legendary birds and you can still use Cinderace?
I'm just waiting for the fear sets.
I'm just waiting for the guy who's bringing 6 Cinderace, all with different movesets, to pick the 3 that best counter what's in front.
I think there's going to be a lot of that, like some versatile mons that are just going to be like 6 different variants to some degree, and then you're going to bring the 3 that make the most sense. I can believe that will show up, so I'll be watching.
Here's my team: 5 Cinderace and a Rillaboom.
I mean, you could bring 6 Mimikyu, and then oh no, wait, you have Gmax Cinderace on the other side. What am I saying? This is ridiculous. True. At least only one of the Cinderace can Gigantamax or Dynamax, but still. You make the other one Choice Band and the other one Choice Scarf.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Signups end Thursday, and the event runs Friday through Sunday. If you're listening next week, I'm sorry. Why are you listening to this one? The E3 one's out.
Yeah.
Listen to
you
that
should probably listen to that one before this one. But look, there's Pokemon Go news. That never happens.
But there's only one thing, so this is very nice.
That actually never happens.
This never, Usually, especially in the summertime, I feel like it's usually like just tons and tons of events, but it's been really, really calm this summer. So starting June 17th, there is a Shadow Ho-Oh that is being added to the game. That will be around through September 1st, and it's obtained through some new Team Go Rocket special research, a 7-colored shadow. So if you still play Pokemon Go and you somehow don't have a Ho-Oh or you want a Ho-Oh, this is the event for you. So that should give you a fun little summer mission.
Yeah, if it's not like too hot or too cold or too COVID-y where you live.
We had a frost last night in the middle of June. I hate this place.
Continental weather. That sounds awful, actually. When I said too cold, I was thinking about our friends from Down Under, but gosh. Anyway, speaking about friends, let's move on to our PUCL news. We've mentioned this in the intro. We're never going to stop talking about it until it's over, probably. But the Summer League starts today, not when we're recording, when the episode comes out. Unless people it starts today. And if you were wondering what we were talking about in the intro with like the fairy type coverage and all of that, the way the Summer League works is this. There's 10 gym leaders, 10, because we don't want to crush your dreams of equaling Gary Oak's feat in the Kanto League in the anime. Each gym leader has a type, and you can go up against them in BSS battles where they have teams that don't have to be all of their assigned type, but do need to have 4 Pokemon of that type, at least 1 Pokemon with an offensive move of that type, and at least 1 Pokemon with a move of that type that can be a status move. So that's why I was having such drama about finding things that knew like Charm or Disarming Voice.
Yeah, there's not a lot of coverage fairy moves that like non-fairies get access to. It's a pretty slim pickings.
A lot of the, say, moves like Detect being a fighting type move or stuff like that. All those little moves that are not normal type, they're almost never fairy type because fairy type was introduced afterwards. The only one that I think changed from normal to fairy of those was Charm, which is why there's an actual coverage with Charm.
Yes.
Incorrect. There is also Sweet Kiss.
Yes.
Kiss, which has a ton of Pokemon that learn it. What is it, 7?
I mean, you could be running a Love Disc this summer for all we know with that Sweet Kiss coverage.
Why would I ever, except for the one time I tried to make my entire team pink?
Why?
I failed to do that.
Is Love Disc even in Sword and Shield? I don't know.
Think so.
No, you're right. It's not. Oh gosh,
it could be, and none of us would know.
That's a fair assessment. But I don't think it is.
It is not, huh?
What happens is every gym leader has a gym time during the week, a 2-hour window when you can go and challenge them. And if you can't make that time, you can make arrangements. We're gonna make it work for you. And if you collect at least 8 of the badges before the league ends on August 1st, you get to participate in a BSS tournament at the end that's a single elimination tournament? No? Is it a Swiss? Are we doing...
It's a single elimination bracket tournament.
Single elimination bracket tournament. Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah.
And you can become the Summer League champion.
If you would rather just say, screw the rules, I have money, and would like to purchase a physical set of badges, you don't need to beat us, and those are for sale.
Yes. More information can be found on Patreon, I believe. Or on, on the Discord, too.
Patreon.
Well, yeah.
But, actually... everything I just described happens on our Discord server. So just go there. You can see the rules. You can see the gym leaders. You can see their scheduled time. You can, there's a chat where you can like go and say, hey, I want a challenge. And then you can comment on your battle with other people and brag if you win and look for advice if you don't win. Because the point of the gym leaders is to say, yeah, I'm not here to like stop you forever from getting the badge. I'm here to stop you from getting the badge until you learn anything that you might have possibly have had to learn from me. Mm-hmm. So you can re-challenge if you lose, and we're always going to have like a good piece of advice for you in the meantime.
And quite a few of us are going to be streaming it during our gym times as well. So if you just want to come watch some gym battles and you got nothing better to do, you can probably find us in the Discord streaming it. So definitely come check that out.
One thing to note, especially like the first couple weeks, yes, we are more than happy to do multiple matches against you. Probably not back to back because we have limited hours and a lot of people trying to go through. So just keep coming. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The unspoken rule of the Summer League is just be polite, take your place in the queue, and be mindful that there are other people trying to get the badges. That's all. In more PUCL news, you may have noticed at the beginning that I mentioned this being episode 497. This means that in 3 weeks, we're going to be hitting the big 500. There's going to be... Yes. Yes. There's going to be several things done to celebrate. First of which is we're going to broadcast that episode live on our Twitch stream. And then we haven't finalized everything about it, but there is going to be a panel with Thatch and the co-hosts on our Discord. There's going to be a tournament inspired by PUCL 500. There's going to be lots and lots of initiatives that are just going to add to the fun and add to the celebration, and you are welcome to join us for every single one of them. So don't miss out.
One thing that is coming up soon, and if you want to participate, you'll need to just hop in through the Discord. On June 28th, the time is forthcoming. We're still trying to get a couple people to figure things out. We're doing a special PUCL-themed game corner that I will be running, and there will be a mystery prize. So if you want to watch that live, we should have the time next week in the show itself. But if you want to check the Discord by the time this episode goes live, we'll have it then too.
That sounds amazing, and I can't wait for it. Anyway, as for the Summer League, all the news and details are going to be on our Discord. You can follow us there for all the relevant information. But now, speaking of information, we are going to move on to PUCL's Poke Quiz, where I'm going to quiz my fellow co-hosts on their absolutely insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to PUCL's Poke Quiz. Thank you, Mark, for reading the rules for us. As you heard, we're going to be asking 5 Pokemon-themed questions, and we're going to see how my friends do. Currently, the ladder for this is completely empty.
No, because Seth has points.
Except for Seth. Dude, I know I'm slow, but let me finish. Except for our friend Seth, who got 7 points for helping Claude cross the line last week. We're going to get to 30 points, and we're going to see how far you guys go this week to reach that goal. Are you guys ready?
Of course. I'm ready to be carried by Lynian, at least.
Just because it's true doesn't mean you have to say it, McGee.
I like to remind folks that just because I once upon a time collected the trivia, I was not very good at doing the trivia.
Yes.
Time for one footprint set, because this is where I carry you.
Oh gosh. Okay. Question number 1. This one comes from our beloved Shark Finnegan. Shark wants to know, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower are often lumped together as 95-powered special TMs found in casino or late-game locations. But in Generation 1, one of them was not a TM. Which one was it?
Well, at least we have a 33% chance. I don't know.
I think it's my gut says Flamethrower.
I'll go with your gut. I have nothing to counter it with.
Is that your final answer then?
Sure.
Okay. Flamethrower is correct.
Yay!
So, yes, your instinct was exactly correct. So, Thunderbolt you got from Lieutenant Surge after you beat him as a TM.
That makes sense.
And Ice Beam you can get as a TM after you give a drink to the girl at the top of the department store.
Oh.
Yep. And you're going to say, wait, but doesn't Blaine give out Flamethrower with his team? No, he gives you Fire Blast.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you guys are 1 for 1. Good job.
Ooh.
And I'm actually going to give you guys a choice here because both of our choices for question number 2 have very specific topics. One is the TCG and one is the manga.
Oh, well, whatever you want to do, Lynian. I don't have information on either.
Why must you expose both of my weaknesses?
I'm so sorry. Blame Liger. He's the one who compiles this every week.
I'll do what I do best and blame the Australians. I feel like I've read more manga pages at 2 a.m., like pages about the manga on Cerebian Bulbapedia, let me clarify, than I have played TCG, so...
I need to start doing that with my 2 a.m. reads. I need to start going through these manga tidbits so I can answer trivia questions.
Manga question it is. Our second question, therefore, comes from the British gent. Hi, darling. In the Pokemon manga, Red goes missing, and we meet Yellow, who has been sent on a mission to find him along with Red's Pikachu. Now, Yellow has to cross the sea, but how does Yellow cross the sea?
It's not just a Lapras, is it? That seems too simple.
I mean, it's either a Lapras or the SS Anne, right? Like,
they both sound valid.
Okay, since this is a very hard question, I'm going to give you like half of a free hint. Pokemon does have something to do with it, but in a rather non-traditional manner.
So I don't think it's Lapras. We got 150 other Pokemon it could be, though, so we're improving our odds.
You know that picture of Doduo using its heads like a helicopter?
Sure. Flying Doduo? I can buy it.
That's clearly not what this is, but I don't know.
If it's not traditional, we can pretty much throw out water types, so...
I mean, you guys can use your hint on this one if you want.
I think we save it for the fourth question.
It for something where, like, it's closer.
So what is your answer?
Doduo. I'm down with it.
Doduo is unfortunately incorrect.
No, really?
Yellow essentially cobbles together a surfing Pikachu from a non-surfing Pikachu by using a surfboard and having Pikachu use its attacks to propel them across the sea.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like budget surfing Pikachu.
Because that's a much better solution than, I don't know, catching a Poliwhirl.
Yeah, but this was the manga inspired by Pokemon Yellow, which had the surfing Pikachu minigame.
That's true.
So it was a reference to that. Yeah, sorry, it was a pretty hard question. But you can make up for that with your Pokédex question, which, as usual, is our third question. Let's see. I'm gonna say we're gonna ask you the one from Nukin Foobs. Its Ultramoon Pokédex entry states, its entire body is covered in its own slime. If you accidentally step on one, you'll slip, and it will get mad and smack you. Who's that Pokemon?
Why?
That is it Goodra?
I was wondering if it was like Goomy. I mean, because you can't really step on a Goodra.
Maybe a Sliggoo?
Sliggoo or Agumi I could buy. I'm trying to think of what other slimy creatures to be aware of.
Wait, what was the dex?
Ultramoon.
Ultramoon.
Okay.
They're in it, so they're in that dex.
Yeah. It's just a...
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other slimy creatures that you could step on.
Not Stunfisk, because that wouldn't slap you so much as tase you.
Yeah. Or Pyukumuku? No, probably not.
Actually, its whole thing is like counterattacks, right?
Yeah, when it's got the whole thing like it projects out of its body that like is like a hand. I don't know if it's slimy though.
Yes, if it's a sea cucumber, those are incredibly slimy.
Okay.
I have just touched one recently. I can confirm they are disgusting.
I'm gonna need an answer.
Pyukumuku is fine. Let's do that.
Pyukumuku.
Pyukumuku is actually correct. You guys done the second Pokédex entry. Good job. The second entry was from Pokemon Moon, and it read, "These Pokemon line the beaches." So I think you guys would have gotten it from that.
That would have helped. That definitely would have helped.
But the second part of the entry is amazing. The sticky mucus that covers their bodies can be used to soothe sunburned skin. How convenient.
I hate that a lot. I truly despise that fact.
I mean, there are beauty products with, like, slug slime in it. So.
Sure, Whimsicott, do you just pick up a slug off the ground and rub it onto your face to fix crow's feet? No!
Absolutely no. That is sticky and gross.
Exactly!
But getting the question right on your first Pokédex entry gave you 2 points, which means you guys are 3 for 3. And we're going to move on to our multiple choice question. So let's see. This one I'm going to get from Morrow Live. This question has 3 answers, and I'm going to give you a point for each. To date, which Pokemon evolutionary lines appear in every regional Pokédex?
This question. So I assume that means pre-Isle of Armor.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, Zubat.
That is one.
Is Psyduck in Swish?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's that.
Psyduck would be one if it's in Swish. So I'll say Psyduck.
That is also correct. That's 2 points.
It wouldn't be Pikachu line, would it? Or like a Magikarp line?
It wasn't in Gen 5. It's Magnemite, I believe.
Magnemite?
Yep.
Magnemite is correct. Good job.
All right.
You got all 3
Easy peasy.
correct answers, and you got all 3 points, which means you are now 6 for 4, and you have a chance to get a 7th point with question number 5, which, as usual, is a base stat question. This one I'm going to get from Gliscor Gamer. What not fully evolved water type has the highest base attack?
Water type with the highest base attack that's not fully evolved. Let's see. Who's are really high? Poliwhirl's probably not going to be it.
You guys
the water
can
Pokemon.
cash in your hint.
Oh, yeah, we can't cash it in. Yeah, we'll take the hint. We don't need pride.
Okay.
We need
Your
points.
hint is this is a single type Pokemon.
Monotype. Okay. So we've got, I'm trying to think from generations that are strong.
Can you think of anything higher than 100?
That's where I'm
'Cause
kind
I
of hitting. Who's at 100?
Krabby.
Krabby's at 100?
Yeah, it's got basically no other stats. The things you
wow.
learn building PTU encounters.
Well, not fully evolved is that the same thing as unevolved? Or are we talking
No,
middle stage?
because
here?
then
No.
we'd get things like, I can't think of any, I don't know. I can't think of
Well-
monotype waters with higher attack than, yeah.
Well, I mean, she said not fully evolved, so I wasn't sure if that implied that it evolved once and it hadn't evolved again. So, like, it was a middle stage.
Yeah,
It
no,
can be a
it
middle
does
stage.
include those. It
Okay.
does include middle stages.
That's fine. I mean, I'm trying to think from later generations if anything was, like, really skewed. What are the water types from this gen?
The only I don't know the attack stat off the top of my head, but the only other mono water I can think of would be Arrokuda.
Barracuda's probably decently high, but I don't know that it's because Barracuda is like 140 or something like that. So I mean, if
It's 130.
Okay, so it's
135.
possible.
Gonna need an answer soon.
I'll trust your gut. It's been right today.
Okay, Krabby.
Krabby actually does not have an attack stat of 100. It has an attack stat of 105 and is the correct answer. It's the same base attack as Feraligatr, which is insane. The second best in this list is Marshtomp with a base 85 attack. And then in third place, there's 3 Pokemon with a base 80 attack stat, and they are Kabuto, Croconaw, and Corphish. That gives you guys 7 points, which means the board is now you and Seth at 7 points in first place, and the rest is completely empty. And our listeners can tune in next week for another exciting episode of PUCL's Poke Quiz. But now we have to move on to our topic.
Hey guys, if you haven't already, be sure to head over to Patreon and check out our PUCL Anime Club podcast, where we go over Pokemon journeys, talk about the episodes. You can listen to the commentary real time as you watch the show, or you can just go ahead and listen to our review episode that we do at the end. You just have to go over to Patreon and be at the $5 tier to be able to access it. I think it's been a lot of fun making, and I hope if you decide to go and listen to it, you have a great time listening to it as well. But until then, keep on listening to the show, and you've got a topic to get to.
And welcome to our topic. Our topic today is going to be speculation about E3 and beyond. And if you're listening to this after the E3 Nintendo thingy has happened, just bear with us and you can laugh at us if we got it completely wrong.
Yeah, tell us how wrong we were.
Join us on the Discord and talk with us about the new trailer.
Yeah. Or you can hail us as prophets, as all the soccer part of Twitter is doing to the dude from Italy who predicted the result of last night's debut match in the European Soccer Championships, down to who scored our 3 goals, including the guy on the other side who marked an own goal. I don't know how he did that. But anyway...
It's all rigged. He found the book.
Fun stories from Italy. But yeah, so in a couple of days, or actually tomorrow as of the show coming out, Nintendo is going to have their Nintendo Direct at E3. And since one of the big titles coming out this year is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and since Pokemon Legends Arceus is barely not coming out in 2021, we expect to see something about those games. The question is, what?
Yeah.
Because in previous years, Pokemon has always had a presence at E3. Before the show, I was telling the guys, but are we really going to get anything? And we've always gotten something, actually. I was wrong. Well, except last year, but last year, E3 didn't really happen.
I mean, I feel like we can expect something because this, BDSP is still being given a good release date slot. It's not being shoved into, a weird month or time. It's giving its normal Prime Pokemon release date slot. So... you'd expect a level of promotion with that.
Exactly. I remember Thatch speculating that it might be an October title to make room for an actual, prime release date game for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not happening. We're still getting the Friday before Black Friday. Mm-hmm. Which means that in spite of this not being a Game Freak game, and in spite of this being a remake, they still think it's gonna sell like hotcakes, which means they're gonna promote it like it's a very tasty set of hotcakes.
A tasty set, yes.
Yes. Which begs the question, since it's supposed to be this most faithful, quote-unquote, remake, what could they possibly be showing off to get us hyped and excited?
So I think I'm going to start with worst case, because I think the worst, realistic case here is we just get, a really kind of bland trailer with them showing some new places and explaining it has online multiplayer. And ending with a ominous shot of the legendaries.
In their crappy HD glory.
This sounds so accurate that it bothers me.
But
Yeah.
I think I think that's the minimum, though.
Well, in 2014, we got Aura's gameplay. When Aura's was coming out, that was pretty much it. So we might get some gameplay, like we might get some gameplay at Treehouse as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which will actually be nice because there have been several leaks going around saying, "Ooh, the graphics have been updated. Look at this screenshot. Look at this video," and they're all fake. Like
They're all
every single one of them is fake. But people might have been getting expectations if they have only seen the leaks and not the news about them being fake. So seeing some gameplay might be nice. But I don't know. It's like, I'm fine with just seeing gameplay, but if we do only see gameplay, it will essentially tell me that, yes, this is a faithful remake. They are not adding anything interesting to it.
Yeah.
And so my hype will die down a little bit. Not that I was expecting something different. They did tell me they won't give it to us, but, you know, they set quite the precedent
Yeah.
with the other remakes.
I think part of it is just like even just gameplay demo for Oras told us a lot because it basically gave us DexNav. Like it kind of explained that feature a little bit because just moving around had that happening.
Yeah.
The gameplay would also be a really easy way to be like, hey, look, that's a Magby. Those only showed up in this route in the Platinum Dex re-release.
Yeah, it would be Gracidia Lady Part 2.
Yeah, even just little things like that. I mean, it's almost like we're back in Gen 8 trailers where we're like, okay, Tyranitar's in. Look!
Whimsicott's in. Yes. Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. I was thinking one thing I really miss from Gen 4 is the Pokeradar. And I was thinking, oh, it would be so nice to just have like this mini game to shiny hunt. And then I remembered that Dynamax Adventure exists now.
Which I like, but takes a lot of time for limited targets.
It does, but that was also the case of the Pokeradar in Gen 4 because it does take a long time. You're not guaranteed anything for your time, whereas in Dynamax Adventure, you at least catch a Pokemon. And then there are only a few places where the grass has a configuration that really allows you to use the Pokeradar, so you're limited to what is on those routes.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I would like it to be back because just of nostalgia reasons.
That's fair.
I really liked it, and actually having to play it on a screen that's not like the size of my fingers, where you have to see a sparkle in a patch of grass that's like 7 pixels wide, and your eyes just hate you, that might be a lot of fun. But, like, yeah, I would like that. What I would really like, and what I'm really waiting for, and it irks me that we're not even sure we're gonna get anything, is I want something about Legends Arceus.
That would be nice. If just to showcase how it's going to be different than a normal game. I mean, we have some little bits of information, but like, I would just like to see some of the world a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Of that. Because I think we all more or less know what we're buckling in for with BDSP. Like, we would like to see a couple of things. Like, we would like to see maybe a new area or two shown in the trailer just to suggest there's extra content. But it's Legends we really are invested in knowing more about because we only have to wait like 2 extra months after BDSP.
Exactly. And also, the trailer we did get was, well, was hopefully a very early development trailer. Like, we know it was an early development trailer, but what we're really hoping is that it means the game gets a significant update in how it looks and how it runs.
Performance improvement?
Yes.
PowerPoint Changling! PowerPoint Changling!
Changling. Yeah, that was really bad. But I still don't understand what I'm going to do in that game. Because, yeah, you go around and you catch Pokemon and people are yelling, oh, it's going to be Pokemon Breath of the Wild because it's an open world Pokemon game, but
We don't even know if it's open world.
well, it looked to be mostly open world, but my point is Breath of the Wild is not great because it's open world. Breath of the Wild is great because it's open world and you can interact with that world in a myriad of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they are all integrated seamlessly into the gameplay. They have the fun Nintendo quirks of like, I don't know, Link humming while he cooks food and you getting dubious food and like all that stuff. It's not the open world that makes Breath of the Wild great. It's the 7 billion things you can do in it in whichever order and way you want.
Well, that's the issue Pokemon's going to have to deal with, is that they don't traditionally have a ton of like side activities to keep you engaged with.
Exactly.
Most of it more or less revolves around catching Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So if it's like, let's go Pikachu and Eevee, but open world, people are going to be very disappointed. I'm going to be very disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think we have to get some information, because there are 3 major places to show off things and get a decent amount of press between now and the release. There's E3. In about a month, we have GDC, or the Game Developers Conference, which is less press, but still some.
Yep.
And then we have PAX in September. And like, Nintendo has this amazing ability to snap their fingers and create hype at any given time. A little bit of it is marketing power, a little bit is brand recognition. And they can just drop a Pokemon Direct at pretty much any given time. But if they want to fight for a release slot, they need to be fighting for the press that happens when people are making their purchase decisions for the year, which tend to be at those 3 major events.
Yes, because pre-orders are a thing.
Mm-hmm. The other potential thing is I could see them splitting the difference and going a little bit after PAX and going for the Tokyo Game Show, because that's big for Japan.
I guess.
And some stuff, but Nintendo doesn't really have much of a presence there. They kind of even don't so much at PAX. They really just hit E3 and GDC pretty hard. So
Nintendo have always been like, we do our own thing, and then we cross with your thing, but when we like to. The thing is, I think a major point is that both BDSP and Arceus, as far as we know right now, from what we know about them right now, are incomplete games. Not in the sense that they're still in development, but in the sense that one is, quote unquote, just a faithful remake, so it's not going to give us anything new. And the other is a single player Pokemon game. So I think they need, if they know what's good for them, to keep marketing them together. Because that way, every time you talk about what's coming up in Pokemon, people are going to get something they like.
Yes.
Whether they like one or the other, they're not going to be left unsatisfied. And that is a very weird balance you have to keep, because one of the games does come out before the other, and ideally you would like people to buy them both. So you can't overhype Arceus over BDSP too much.
Because then they won't.
Yeah, but at the same time, if people are like, "Ooh, I hate the chibi art style. Ooh, this is just a remake with nothing new in it," or you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. There is enough there for everyone to be happy, but you have to market it in the right way where everyone feels like their game is being promoted, the one they want to play.
Exactly. Like, yes, we are probably going to get both because, like, let's face it, we're not a Pokemon podcast. Like, we're those kinds of people. But we're not most people, you know? So, for BDSP, okay, we've been, like, pretty realistic so far in saying we are probably just going to get some gameplay and that gameplay might reveal things. But what would you like to actually see?
From Arceus or from BDSP?
Both, actually.
I mean, BDSP, my expectations, like, not to say the game is going to be bad or unfun, but my expectations for what I need to see to be satisfied are pretty low. I would just like to see a different aspect, like, you know, an additional piece to the story, even just a confirmation that the distortion world is there, or just some newer Pokemon that you can catch in the game, just to know that it's not going to be like Let's Go and it's going to be really locked into like what your Pokemon options are for what you can use post game. So I would like to know things. I would like to see some things from like Gen 8 or, you know, just future generations as well, to suggest the Dex is much more open afterwards.
Yeah.
And then maybe a new area, just something that we didn't see originally, just to give us something new to explore afterwards. That's all I need from BDSP to be content with it as a remake, I think.
I think for me, BDSP, I've just kind of, this sounds harsher than it is, but I've just kind of written it off as, oh, it is what it is. I'm not particularly excited or upset. I don't think that the Battle Frontier is back, but if they are, I actually really like the Gen 4 battle facilities. I think they're all fine. That could be fun, and if that's there, I'll be pleasantly surprised, and that's kind of it. For Legends Arceus, what I really hope they start talking about is a focus on either exploration, or if it's not quite as open world as everyone is assuming, because they are assuming, a stronger core narrative that they could not get away with in a modern Pokemon game that has to, you know, balance all of its game mechanics and game systems. Because if they're like, hey, you're building the first Dex, why wasn't this done before? What is stopping us? What is the conflict? Because that is very broad in ways that modern formulaic Pokemon just can't get away with.
Yes. You guys have actually, like, given me ideas about what I want now. Because McGee made me realize that what I would really like to know from E3 about BDSP is how it connects to Home and Sword and Shield, and what this means for the Pokemon we get to use in battles online with our friends. Like, okay, so Fire Red and Leaf Green was a pretty faithful remake, to the point that you could not evolve your frigging Golbat.
No. Yes.
No, not again.
But it did have the Sevi Islands. So what if, you know, they want to give you a chance, as they did before, to catch every single Pokemon in a generation without having to transfer them? And it doesn't necessarily mean this time that you can have every Pokemon in one game, as it used to be before, but it does mean that if you come into this generation now, you don't need to transfer from previous generations, which is something they've done for both Gen 6 and Gen 7. And so you have like Sevi Islands 2.0, where you can catch, say, Minior or Mareep. And you can just fill out your home without having to transfer from previous games. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And for Legends Arceus, you know, I want to know what I'll be doing in the game. And previously I thought that just means, like, tell me what I'll be doing besides catching Pokemon. But you, Lynian, have made me realize this is a Pokemon game that has no formula to it. You don't have to beat a league. You don't have to beat the gyms. You don't have to make a team, even. The story possibilities for something like that are actually insane if they want to go there. Like the speculation that since the symbol on the player character's uniform looks like the symbol for Team Galactic, it could even be that it has like an ambiguous ending. Something that looks like a happy ending, but is it? Or, you know...
When the order the games come out, what you could do is, you know that cave in Celestic Town that's kind of a write-off? You just go in there, you meet Cyrus, he talks about how evil he is, and then leaves, right?
Yes, I remember this.
You're talking like I remember Gen 4, but go ahead.
So, all you have to do is slightly tweak the texturing on that, and slightly tweak exactly what's happening, and say that it was a new discovery. They found, like, a book describing the most powerful Pokemon of all, and Cyrus is gonna go off and, like, this was his inspiration. This is what drove him to evil. And then, a couple months later, you play a game where you catch all the Pokemon, you write them down, and you put them in a cave, and it collapses, and you're like, well, that was a waste.
Oh, yes. oh my goodness, please go work for Nintendo. Please.
Yeah, he bases his team off like the patch on your shoulder is like the sticker on the front of the book, and so
Yeah.
so he's like,
Wow.
these people must be guiding me to my destiny, and really it was some 10-year-old they made go catch one of every animal like a terrible Noah.
Wow. I am so into this. I cannot even explain how much I am into this. And now, this is the problem with doing speculation episodes. Like,
We get more
come
hopeful
up-
than what we actually end up getting. Like we get really excited.
Yeah, we come up with some incredibly good ideas, and then we don't get them, and we disappoint ourselves. We are like people looking at leaks on the internet. But worse, because we do it to ourselves.
But I think all of us, I think this is just like, what would you do crazy theory. I think both of us are just like, I mean, it goes right back. What was the first thing I said? Is like, yeah, just a trailer that ends on an ominous shot of the legendaries. And PMcGee was like, yep, that's what's going to happen.
I mean, we've walked this path before of excitement and then crushing defeat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be a bad, whatever they give us won't be bad. It might just be generic. And that's what we don't want to see any more of.
Exactly. Generic at this point is bad. Because it's like, if it was a new generation, you know, basic formulaic Pokemon is still good Pokemon because it's Pokemon, you know? But generic on a remake or generic on a game that's supposed to be innovative, like, I don't know how I feel about that, you know?
I don't know, because on one hand, like you said it yourself, it's gonna be good, or at the very least, it's gonna be very, eminently playable.
Yes, absolutely.
So what they need to sell me on is that I think what they understand is half of this. They understand that they do not need to sell their core audience on the game. Their core audience is gonna go with it.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't think they realize is that the purpose of this is not to sell their audience or even to sell undecided customers. What they need to do is sell their audience on the idea of selling to their friends.
Yeah. You need to jumpstart the hype machine.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially what happened with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was a game for people that didn't play Zelda that wanted to try, like you could convince to try out a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And not that, I don't think Legends is going to be that. I know BDSP isn't going to be, BDSP is for Pokemon fans. Like that's not going to be an introductory game for you to tell your friends about. But Legends could be the kind of game where it has such an interesting story that you can get people to try it out because it's just this whole new experience. Which, if that's the case, they're going to have to market it. They're going to have to give us more to suggest it's something more interesting than we've played before and isn't going to be some kind of formulaic game with just a, I guess, more interesting plot. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I think another like target audience for BDSP is young children.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
of the way like the game looks like, let's go a little bit and let's go what's for kids. But I think for Legends, maybe they need to sell us on the idea that it is Pokemon and Breath of the Wild. And it's like putting chocolate and peanut butter together, two things that so many people love, they would punch a friend to get them both together. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I was going to go for strawberry, and then I thought so many people are allergic to strawberries, and then I went with peanuts, which so many more people are allergic to. Like, go me.
And some people are like a little allergic to strawberries, but everyone I know who's allergic to peanuts is like, put that on the opposite side of the table under like 14 layers of shrink wrap and 3 crucifixes, and maybe I'll sit down.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a weird like trip that my brain took. I'm not allergic to anything, so I have to remind myself that that's a thing. But yeah, I think us going on a tangent about allergies might mean that it's
We
time.
have exhausted.
Yeah, unless you guys have like any final observations or conclusions or questions that you want to bring up.
I'm just waiting to see what shows up. I'm not going to draw any big reactions until I see what comes out of E3. And then I'll react, I guess.
Fair.
All right, I just want to call my shot. If I'm right, my PayPal will be linked in the description. Called shot. They're going to reveal 2 Smash Fighters. One of them's a Gen 8 Pokemon. Money's on Cinderace. All right. Payment details to follow.
Fair bet.
My tithes are low.
What a lame pick. They could have announced him a year and a half ago.
Wow. That I wish I had a bet to place, but I can't come up with anything right now. Tell you what, though, if we do, for any reason, see Minior, I will flip.
I'd be very excited for Minior to come back. Obviously, Lynian would as well.
I mean, yeah, yes. But it's just funny to hear both of you shilling my favorite.
I mean, I've always liked Minior.
It's also one of my favorites. So.
I know, it's just amusing.
But anyway, I think it's time for us to move on to the Pokemon of the episode, who unfortunately I don't think is going to be Minior. Catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. The Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 804, Naganadel, the Poison Pin Pokemon.
Its Ultra Sun Dex entry reads, it stores hundreds of liters of poisonous liquid inside its body. It's one of the organisms known as UBs, or Ultra Bees.
Ooh. So, Naganadel was one of the Pokemon introduced in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So, it's very special because they had never introduced Pokemon halfway through a generation before, and now it's a thing. Naganadel is an Ultra Beast, and as such, all of its stats are prime numbers, I think. That one.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, that doesn't look like a prime number, but it is. Is 121 a prime number? I feel like
yes, it is.
Okay. So, it has 73s across the board, except for its special attack, which is 127, and its speed, which is 121. So it's actually very easy to, stat him however you want.
121 isn't a prime number.
I told you it wasn't!
It wasn't?
It's divisible by 11.
No, 11. Okay. Haha.
Weird.
I know my numbers.
This was a terrible mistake, and they should have fixed it.
Yep. So you can actually get your speed boost or your special attack boost with the Beast Boost ability, but you can't get anything else, and I don't see why you would want to.
It's got 2 usable stats, and they're in the perfect places to be usable.
Yeah.
A Pokemon with high special attack and speed and an ability that raises one is good? What?
Who'd have known? How high Spectre? But
Spectre with
is
moves
actually...
with a better move, better typing, but worse stats.
Exactly. So, our team for today is a BSS team, because we're doing BSS things, because Summer League is going on. And in a very Summer League mood, we're gonna start off with Cinderace Gmax. You're gonna see a lot of them. If you didn't see them, you're doing something wrong, probably.
Or you're battling gym leaders.
I mean, literally every gym leader except me could theoretically run a Cinderace.
That's true.
This is true.
Maybe not Shamu. I don't know.
It gets U-turn.
It's got you. Then yes, I'm the only gym leader who doesn't get access to Cinderace. Can you tell I'm slightly bitter about it?
It's okay. Shamu's one of the only ones that doesn't have access to any of the Reggies, so it all evens out in the end.
Excuse me, I don't get access to the Reggies either.
That's true.
I don't think I do either.
All right, well, Shamu doesn't, and that's what matters.
Yes, that's the important part. But going back to the Hoppy Bunny of Death, Fiery Death at that, Cinderace Gmax is holding a life orb, so the death is even more deathy and more fiery. Its ability is Libero, and that's the only way you pronounce that. It has max attack, max speed, 4 special defense, jolly nature. It's running Pyrobo, because why wouldn't you run it? High jump kick, because why wouldn't you? And then it's got Zen Headbutt and Giga Impact, which are pretty interesting moves. But, I was expecting a flying type move. I'm surprised it doesn't have bounce.
Giga Impact's essentially the same way because you max strike, so you lower their speed. So it's the same output.
You also probably kill them, so then you don't have the speed boosted for the next Pokemon.
Yes, this is true.
It does work. It does work. But if you don't want to Gigantamax your Fire-type starter, you can Gigantamax your Grass-type starter, because this team is also running Rillaboom, G-Max, holding a Choice Band. The ability is obviously Grassy Surge. The EV spread is 140 HP, 252 attack, and 116 defense. With an Adamant nature, I don't know what that is supposed to live. I'm sorry. Does anyone know?
Something like a Pyro Ball. I don't know. It could take maybe a Pyro Ball from a Cinderace. I don't know the calc on that. Greal will know.
Maybe an Airstream from something while it's maxed. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It obviously has Grassy Glide. It almost as obviously has Wood Emmer. And then it's got Superpower, which is great to boost your attack while you're Gigantamaxed. And then Knockoff, because you have it, why wouldn't you run it? So few things get it these days.
It's true.
Cool.
Second part of the team.
Yeah. But why would you just use starter Pokemon when you can use Unholy Alien Abominations? We have the two fastest Ultra Beasts, because this is a very aggressive team. Veramosa with the Focus Sash leads us out. It's got Beast Boost as its ability because it doesn't have any other option, and why would you not want better Moxie? 252 attack, 4 special defense, and 252 speed with an Adamant nature means it's boosting attack instead of speed, which is good. It's fast enough already. It's a good Dynamax Mon with access to close combat. U-turn will let you scout and just put a massive dent in whatever you hit. Drill Run lets you deal with those pesky ground and poison types. And Triple Axle kills everything. Notably, Triple Axle means that Dragonite dies, because Multiscale stops the little 10 base power hit, and then you kick it to death.
Yes.
And the same way with Mimikyu. Good way around a Mimikyu. I don't think it'll one-hit KO Mimikyu, but it'll get it pretty obliterated.
It will do a lot.
It will do a lot, yes.
At +1, it'll probably just kill it.
Oh, absolutely. Unless it's holding a Keyberry, but it doesn't really do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
One thing to note about having an Adamant nature is that if your Focus Sash gets broken, you have to watch out for base 95 speed Pokemon that are either holding a Scarf or have a +1 speed boost, because they will outspeed you then.
Yep.
Yes.
So, such as, like, say, Choice Scarf, Lele, or Feeny, you have to watch out for those.
And in case you need something even faster than a Pheromosa, we have the Pokemon of the episode itself, Naganadel. It's got a Choice Scarf, it's got a Timid Nature, 252 speed, 4 special defense, 252 special attack. Now, you're probably going, that boosts speed, doesn't it? And that's correct. Why would you want that with a Choice Scarf? Well, what happens is Naganadel comes in, kills whatever is in front of it, gets a +1 speed, then you Dynamax, and you can just slaughter everything while still keeping your +1 speed. That keeps you ahead of other real fast threats, like the aforementioned Adamant Pheromosa, say, Cinderace, so that you don't have to take a Stab Zen Headbutt, because this one has Libero, and yes, I did say that just to annoy Whimsicott.
I mean, you pronounce it better than everyone else. Not great, but thank you.
Libero?
That's the one that really hurts.
It has Sludge Wave, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, and U-Turn. The U-Turn is just for chip and switch, but you're probably just gonna kill something, go big, and then just click max poison to get your special attack up, and then just kill everything. Yeah. What's gonna stop you?
A thing to note is that Cinderace and Naganadel and Pheromosa all have those 4 leftover EVs in special defense. You do not want to move them around, because otherwise Porygon 2 with download comes in on you and gets a special attack boost instead of an attack one, and you don't want that.
Yep.
This is true. It's helpful. you don't want to give Porygon it powered up, especially with these things, pathetic special defenses in general. You don't want to give them extra firepower.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And because their defenses are identical otherwise, those 4 points will just guarantee it.
Very easy way around it. Cool. So, because we had 2 starters...
Exactly. You don't have to use all starters. Well, actually...
We got one more for you.
We have 2 more. That's a Pikachu.
This is a
Pikachu.
We'll get to fake Pikachu in a minute. But...
Knockoff Pikachu.
We've got ourselves a Swampert with the leftovers as the item. Torrent is the ability, 252 HP, 36 defense, the rest in special defense. A sassy nature, 0 speed IVs, and we'll get to why in just a moment. The nice thing about Swampert right now, he took off an OU when he got brought back into the game, and now he's doing the same in BSS because he can set rocks, and then he can pivot with Flip Turn. So a good way to put rocks out on turn 1 and then slowly pivot out on turn 2 into something else. If something's trying to set up, you just click Yawn, and they're not very happy. Or you protect if you need to stall out a turn and wait for something to fall asleep. Or you can Flip Turn, like I said, to go slow, gain momentum, let the thing fall asleep, and then come in with one of your sweepers and win the game. So Swampert's doing pretty good right now in this meta.
Good boy.
And then, finally, rounding out the team, because this is BSS, it wouldn't be a true team without a Mimikyu on it as well. We've got a Mimikyu holding the Spell Tag because the Life Orb was already equipped on someone else. 4 HP EVs, 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly Nature, Play Rough, Phantom Force, Shadow Sneak, and Swords Dance. Phantom Force being very helpful if you need to burn Dynamax turns by hiding away for one of them. So Mimikyu remains a very good anti-Dynamax Pokemon.
Yes. Really, really good. My good boy. My good fake Pikachu. Who's a good boy? You are. Sorry, he's probably going to be on both of my teams. So, spoilers. Watch out for the Mimikyu. But yeah, this team essentially runs pretty easy. You essentially wall break with one of the starters at the beginning. If something looks like it's trying to give you trouble with their Dynamax, you use either Swampert or Mimikyu to dissuade them, set up rocks and stuff like that. And then at the end of the game, you pick a beast and you end the sweep with them.
Very straightforward. Very effective. We used it to face 3 of the gym leaders, so I would keep an eye out for that video if you want to get a gauge on it.
Yep.
Yep.
I fought against this team. I had a reaction.
Can't wait to see that. But with that... okay, fine, I won't. With that, we can move on to our very last segment, the mailbag.
It's mail time! You got mail! Send in your emails! You got mail!
And welcome to the mailbag, which is the segment of the show when we read our listeners' email, which can be sent in at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Every week we have a question that we answer you, and before I forget, the question for this week will be, what did you think of the Pokemon reveals at E3?
We can pretend that we can ask another question and then hope that you'll respond, but you will just answer this question anyway, so, you know.
Yep.
We know.
We're just giving you permission.
Exactly. So, a note about this mailbag segment, many of you sent some wonderful answers to the mailbag question from last week, which had to do with your favorite music from Pokemon. But unfortunately, I am not Thatch. I do not have a soundboard, and I do not have the technical capacity to get the sound from your emails into the show. So we had to skip some emails that were really nice, but really needed us to play the sound in order to make sense.
And a lot of them had 6 songs, and if we played 5 sets, we would be here. It would be another hour.
So, sorry if we didn't read your really good email. I hope that Thatch has the ability and the time to maybe do an extended mailbag on this one, but we're not Thatch. We can't promise you anything. Apologies. So, Before we read the emails, we are contractually obligated to say that the mailbag segment is, as always, brought to you by the very fictional energy drink Green Taurus, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
Okay, that's fine.
Lynian
I
didn't
put
drink
the
it this
enthusiasm
morning. You
in.
can hear this.
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. I'm looking over at my bed going, and there's a staff meeting after this.
Oh gosh. Okay, so our first email is going to be from Big Cat Bruce, who is actually answering the previous mailbag question. And he says, "Hello, Puckle friends! Big Cat Bruce here with my favorite Pokemon product. For me, I never got into the plushies or Pokemon figurines. I never ate the Pokemon cereal. I never did either. I did play Pokemon Monopoly, though. However, my favorite product is actually the fan-made games. I hope this counts. Financially, probably doesn't, but we're with you on that. I love how this franchise has inspired fans to make their own stories and challenges, using the assets and established universe to create some truly impressive games. Also, these games can present a challenge that experienced Pokemon fans want. Radical Red and Emerald Kaizo, for example, have taken over Twitch with popular content creators trying to complete the games. Then there are others like Storm Silver. There are more difficult versions of Soul Silver or Pokemon Insurgents. Haha, we talked about that. That brings cults and death and adult themes into Pokemon. Adult themes. There's an H there. And they are all free, both to play and to create. There is a whole community dedicated to helping each other and solving problems and brainstorming new ideas. TPCI has created a lot of great stuff, but for me, it's the community that they created and inspiration that they instilled that's most impressive. That's really nice. I hope you are all doing well and have a great week, Big Cat Bruce." I love Big Cat Bruce. That was such a nice email.
It almost lets me forgive him having a name that reminds me of Big the Cat. It's almost... fan games are great. I've always wanted to just, make a ROM hack. Just tweak some stuff. Mostly, I just want to have a game where, I just set everyone's attack stat and special attack stat equal, and then just watch that unfold.
That is so you. Anyway, let's move on to our next email, who is from Redline.
All right. What it do, Puckle crew? Redline here. I've been listening to the podcast.
Oh, he's just made Thatch so happy.
And me so sad.
I've been listening to the podcast for a while and decided to finally write an email. I listen religiously every Monday morning while at work. Anyway, on to the topic of this email. I have many songs from the main series game that I absolutely love and will even listen to outside the games. Of course, I default to Gen 2 Champion theme. It has such an epic build-up at the start and makes me shiver with excitement. In order to keep the length of this email down, I'll only mention the epicness that is Team Flare music and also the Oris Team Magma Aqua themes. I'd have to say my current favorite thing, since I'm doing a replay of this game, is from X and Y. The Xerneas Yveltal theme really is the ultimate banger. I took my time watching Yveltal, Pokeball at 3/4 health, no HP status, by the way, just because I enjoyed the theme so much. Anyway, thank you for reading my email, and I hope all is well with everyone. Till the next time, catch you on the flip-flop.
That was super nice. Thank you, Redline.
Yeah, I realized none of us were on that episode. Do you want to just, say your favorite Pokemon song, if you have one off the top?
Oh, currently, it's the Rose Tower theme from Sword and Shield. Yeah, it's a banger. I love it. But I don't know that it's my overall favorite. It's my current favorite.
I just like the theme from the XY, where you're just kind of wandering around in the grass, just like that adventure theme. I don't know the themes. I don't know the themes that well, but I like the mood that sets of just fun adventure.
I was appalled by the complete lack of Gen 7 representation. Because I think that had some of the most fun, the overall themes are whatever. But versus Guzma,
I don't know about that one. One that I would have definitely submitted if I had been on the episode is the Hawoli City at Night music.
Yeah, that's really good. But the Guzma theme, I don't know why. I'm just bobbing my head the whole time. It's too good. It does not feel like a Pokemon song. It's just very different.
Yeah. Anyway, Our very last email is from W. Blazer?
Yeah,
Blazer?
W5.
W. Blazer the Thwacky. Okay, you got it, Lynian.
Hey there, Puckle crew. W. Blazer the Thwacky here. Super excited to be talking about some music. If my last email was any indication of it, I love music. Not only do I play the drums, but I also have guitar, trumpet, and piano in my arsenal. I also play a few bands near where I live in addition to the obligatory orchestra throughout grade school. Needless to say, music is a big part of my life, and I'm thrilled to be writing about the role it plays in Pokemon. In my opinion, the most important role that music plays in Pokemon is how well it personifies what it's representing. I'm mainly thinking about the characters, legendaries, and areas seen throughout the games. While I have my own personal taste in musical style and genre, I feel like mentioning the accuracy of the themes to what they represent is more intriguing than just saying I like it because it sounds like hard rock and metal. Although I will have to say my favorite music for any game was the trailer for Black and White 2, because it's good hard rock.
My favorite is actually the trailer for Sun and Moon. You know, the one that goes, It was, I loved it.
That was a good one. I really like the Gen 8 Brand New World trailer.
Not as good as the other one.
Shouting. It's very good. Unfortunately, I couldn't be as thorough as I wanted for this mailbag due to my work schedule. It's okay. You capped us out. But here are some I immediately thought of when I asked the mailbag question. He included links, and we won't. Just look them up. Slateport City's theme is one of my favorites in Hoenn. The bells and percussion really capture that hustle and bustle of a port and marketplace. The gentle sounds afterwards echo the peaceful ocean breeze and surroundings really well.
Cool.
Pierce's battle theme. I love the battle theme for when you're fighting against the gym leaders in Swish. The techno and big beats at the beginning really feel like we're in a stadium. I used to love going to sporting events with my dad, so this got me super pumped when battling them. Even Pierce's theme when we fight was sweet, since they changed the music to make it seem like we're at a club rather than a stadium. Kyurem's theme from Black and White. Starts out really ominous and then turns extremely quick, almost to the point of panicking. I don't know you, but seeing this fusion monstrosity form before my very eyes and being forced to battle it, I'd have feelings of dread and panic as well staring that thing down. The last one I want to talk about is somewhat similar to Kyurem's. It's Cynthia's theme from the Gen 4 games. Starting off elegantly to be quickly replaced by that rapid snare and beat told me that Cynthia had shifted to battle mode, and boy, did she. I still remember whiting out to that Garchomp 6 times in middle school before finally beating her. Sorry if this ended up being way too long. Music is a subject I could talk about for hours, but I hope this was enough to get a passing grade. Thanks for the fun topic, and I hope you enjoyed the email. WBlazer5.
That was a good email, and I really liked his approach to it. I would put this email up for the Green Taurus badge if you guys agree.
Sure.
Alright, W. Blazer the Thwacky, you get the Green Taurus badge. Bother us on the Discord to get your role. Now, I've already mentioned that the mailbag question is, what did you think of whatever was revealed at E3? Send an answer to puclpodcast@gmail.com. But if you also want to discuss it live with us, you can join our Discord server. There's going to be a link in the description. As always, you can also find us on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter mostly. I don't know why we're on Tumblr, honestly. And we're also on the YouTubes, where we upload videos at least once a week, sometimes more. And at least twice a week, we are on the Twitch at twitch.tv/thepoclpodcast. That's the only place we're not just Puckle Podcast. There was a snafu many, many years ago. And you can catch us there streaming various things throughout the week and having a ton of fun with our listeners and watchers. If you want to contribute to the great Puckle project, besides just being an awesome part of the community and a listener, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/puclpodcast. We have several tiers there, and the big news is that Thatch has finally released the anime commentary track podcast for everyone, I believe, from the $5 tier and above. So if you're interested in that, check out our patrons. There's going to be a link to that in the description as well. Did I forget anything, guys?
I think we're good.
I think we hit it all.
Awesome. Amazing. I feel good about myself now. And on this good feeling, I am going to say goodbye to you all. I have been the fluffiest Whimsicott.
I've been Lynian.
And I have been
And once again, here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.